Hi guys, here Asher. Today we'll talk about an interesting conversation that Hermes and Hestia had during the events of Volume 5 of the light novels. This scene was animated for the first season of the main show, but it was quite cut, and in my opinion they didn't quite convey the facts and intentions of that chat. So that's why I'd like to relate it here. Like the previous video, this talk occurred shortly after Bel and his companions were lost in the middle floors of the dungeon for several days. Hestia, Hermes and the others were already in full rescue mission, while Ryu, Osfi and the rest were fighting the monsters they encountered along the way. Hestia still had many questions in her head regarding Hermes' presence here, and his willingness to help them. She was about to interrogate him to find out his true motivations. Before we begin, if you like the content of the channel, please subscribe. It's a great support for the channel and motivates me to keep uploading content. But well, without nothing more to say, let's get started. In the gloom of the dungeon, the search and rescue party was on its way. The current formation of the team of adventurers was designed to protect the gods in the middle. Hestia matched Hermes' walking pace, as she pointed the lamp in her hand around the place, illuminating all the party members present. She then cast the light under Hermes' chin, casting dark shadows on his face. "I think it's time you told me what you're up to, Hermes." He tried to act surprised and evade the question, but Hestia continued, and demanded that he tell her the real reason why he wanted to help Bel. Hermes replied, "Hey, it's like I said before. When a friend of mine is in trouble, it's normal for me to help them." Of course Hestia didn't believe that cheap act, and kept pressing him to answer truthfully. Even her gaze became more serious. Seeing the great determination in her eyes, Hermes realized that it was useless to resist, and showed a slight smile. "The reason I came back so soon from my trip this time, was to do someone a favor." "A favor?" Hestia replied. Hermes continued, and explained to his fellow goddess that this someone asked him to look into Bel's welfare. Hestia seemed to be somewhat surprised and confused, but she remained calm, and quietly continued to press Hermes to reveal who this mysterious someone was. But he replied, "The man who raised Bel." Well, those are his words, not mine. That person of whom the little goddess had heard many times, that faceless person who often came up in her conversations with Bel. His grandfather. However, according to Bel, his grandfather had already passed away. At least that's what the boy had told her. Hestia was very confused, and couldn't help but ask Hermes directly. "Bel's grandfather passed away. Did he not?" Hermes leaned down so that he could speak softly in her ear, and said, "Something unavoidable happened, something his precious little grandson couldn't know about, so he faked his own death, and has been in hiding ever since. But because of all the commotion Bel had caused, when he leveled up and broke the record, well, that man just couldn't stand his curiosity any longer. That's where Hermes comes in. Because Bel's grandfather couldn't go to check on his grandson personally, he found it necessary to ask Hermes, who just happened to be in the area. The charismatic god was known for going in and out of Aurario frequently, to attend to his family's various businesses. So that made him the perfect candidate to go in a cautious manner to check on Bel's general condition." Back to the conversation between the gods, Hermes seemed to enjoy himself as he explained all this to Hestia. On the other hand, the little goddess was trying to digest all the information, and had remained silent up to this point. While the conversation between gods was going on, the expedition continued and the monsters kept attacking. However, Hestia turned a deaf ear to the sounds of combat, and asked in a low voice, "Who is the god who is using you as his messenger? There's no way it could be." But before Hestia could finish, Hermes interrupted her, and answered, "Oh, did I say this person was a god? This is just between you and me, and I would be very grateful if you could keep it that way." Hermes forced an unnatural smile in an attempt to deflect the subject. Although Hestia was not happy that Hermes dodged the question, she could sense that there was falseness in his voice. She came to the same conclusion as Freya. At least for now, Hermes has no intention of harming Bel. That's what Hestia thought. Hestia soon after replied, "I understand your situation. However, I still don't understand why you are here. You could have sent your children to investigate and not get personally involved. There is no reason for you to be here in the dungeon, Hermes." Although Hermes told the truth. Possibly because he was not at all intimidated by Hestia, or because he wanted to see how she would react, there is a difference between telling the truth, and revealing how deep the truth goes. Hestia realized this, and so she continued to question Hermes as she stared at him, wondering in her mind, how far he was willing to go. Hermes smiled and replied, "It is true that I was asked, But I am also interested in Bell. I want to see with my own eyes what he is capable of. I need to know if he possesses what this era requires of him. His orange eyes seemed to glow in the darkness as he finished speaking. And well, that's all for today. I will continue making videos about characters, and various stories about Danmachi. I hope you liked the video. If you liked it, please leave a thumbs up, share the video and leave your opinion in the comments. Also check the description of the video. If you want and you can support the channel, that would help me to bring content more often. Best regards and see you next time.